What made you want to film wildlife on your doorstep?
Well, I've always been pretty much obsessed with wildlife for as long as I can remember, but I actually grew up in southeast London, so it's not as if I've grown up sort of in the wilds of the countryside. So maybe that's why I became sort of obsessed with the garden, because that was my place to learn. And in fact, I started with birds. So as a child, I used to watch the birds on the bird table we had at home, and my dad has always been keen. So when I had my own garden, obviously that continued. And then some 10 years ago or so, I got my first Nest Box camera kit. And that's really what kick-started everything. So it all started with that little camera kit wired into an old TV I had in the kitchen, and I became obsessed.
It's a
And
slippery
that's
slope,
really how
isn't
it
it?
all started. I know. I know, and I love technology. I really love technology. So I suppose as the tech has moved on, I've carried on and just used that tech to help me get up close and personal with what's in my garden.
Because they're quite affordable, aren't they? I know probably 10, 15 years ago, a Nest Cam box might have been quite a bulky, tricky thing now, but you can get them readily available online, and they're quite compact, aren't they now?
Oh, they're fabulous. I mean, the technology is becoming more and more advanced and cheaper, and that's the incredible thing. Certainly during this period, I've been looking back through some of my old footage, and stuff I was really pleased with, like even 4 or 5 years ago. I'm thinking, oh my God, look at the quality of that. And now, like you say, for close on £100, you could buy the Nest Box, an HD camera inside, and all the cabling and everything you need to do to get it live, coming into your computer, which is amazing.
Is there one you'd recommend? Is there any kind of brand or any particular one if someone wanted to give it a go?
There's two companies I use who both not only produce excellent kit but also superb customer service, which I think is really important. And yes, you can buy much cheaper anywhere, online particularly, but I think it's worth saving up and spending that little bit of extra, knowing that you're getting a really quality kit and the backup behind it. And those companies are Garden Nature and Handycam. Both of those companies produce excellent kit at good quality prices with that family business type backup and support. So those are the two I recommend.
Ah, brilliant. And obviously you've got this network of how many cameras have you got in your garden out of interest? How well set up is it?
It it changes.
Yeah.
At this time of the year, probably the max. I've probably got. I'm sitting at my computer now with them on two monitors. I've got about 12 running at the moment, that are actually wired up back into my computer system. Then I'm running a couple of other sort of experimental kits as well, which I'm live streaming. So I've probably got coming on 20 on and off, at this time of year. Because obviously we've got nesting and all sorts. So yeah, a lot of cameras.
That's pretty bonkers, isn't it? That's amazing. And you must have a favorite. There must be a species that you kind of look forward to. I mean, I guess you look forward to seeing all of them, but is there one that kind of trumps the rest?
I don't know. It's really hard because people often ask me, well, what's your favourite bird? What's your favourite thing to film or photograph? And I absolutely can quite honestly say I love it all. It's really hard. Obviously, I love the seasonal stuff because some cameras I'm looking at 24/7 all year round. So the cameras that are on my live bird feeders, for example, I feed the birds all through the year, and I get the same pleasure throughout the year by watching those. Um, and there's obviously the species vary slightly, but on the whole, sort of 80% of the birds you see on my feeders, you'll see all year round. But then once we get to the spring, obviously I start to look forward to having cameras inside nest boxes. And I've got one box on an oak tree up my garden, and you can never guarantee with wildlife, but if I had to put money on it, it would be that box, because for every year for probably the last 7 years, blue tits have nested in it. Now, I can't believe it's the same pair, but I would presume it's a combination of location. It isn't the combination of the box because it's a new one each, well, not each year, but many years. But I fine-tuned the camera setup, so I always look forward to that. And I've got a female incubating 9 eggs at the moment that are due to hatch at the beginning of May. And I've watched this cycle over and over again, and every year I look forward to it. So that's going to be a cracking one, and that one's live streaming as well.